This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RGX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The game is final. TUA and the boys are in the locker room. Let's go over what happened in this game in our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The post-game show is brought to you by Welt & Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, Toyota of Hollywood, RM Contractors. The stats are final. The insiders are ready. The platform is mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Now, let's find out what the Big O thinks about this matchup as we start our Dolphins post-game show. Here's Big O.
Oh, man. You know what I think? I think the Dolphins season is over. So, I mean, listen, there wasn't much of a season left. Let's be honest. We were hoping for, an inkling of hope. Something. Give me some hopium. Please. Please, Mr. Fantasy, please give me some hopium and nothing. And it's a pathetic performance. The defense was sad. They looked at Miami's linebackers and said, you guys can't cover. Their tight ends abused them all day long. It was great to have Tua back, but Tua can't contribute to a loss too. And the bad snaps, okay, but the one where you end up the safety and it leads to a score. So it was an 8-point swing. Luckily, they didn't convert the 2-point conversion. You know what I'm saying? It just terrible defense, dude. I mean, just Jalen Ramsey was burned a couple times. Cam Smith was burned a couple times. Those linebackers couldn't cover my grandmother. I mean, it was just it's just typical pathetic bullshit from this team. And it's just it's a broken record over and over and over again. And we sit here as fans and media. Media has to cover it. Fans have to deal with it. And it's every week, every season. You know, it's like Dave Hyde said, Groundhog Year. And this is what it is. And you thought maybe you would be turning the corner. You had a young coach that had a bright mind for the game and all that kind of shit. But his lack of organization. In fact, Mike McDaniel has no organizational skills whatsoever, dude. And it doesn't matter what it is. This week it wasn't the special teams. This week it was the defense. And then, you know, and then all the other little blunders that you had. I mean, the man won a challenge this week. He actually won a challenge. But it's like, man, the game is 4 quarters. Your team has to play complete games. And Tua Tagovailoa, you know, sorry, bro. It's great to have you back. But you got to catch that snap. You got to be awake. You got to catch that snap. I'm sorry. I don't know. Just everything about it. You look at the stats overall. By the way, Waddle with a drop as always. Tyreek Hill had 6 catches for 72 yards. HM played his ass off. I got to say, he had 10 rushes for 97. I got to give the kid credit. He got hit some too in that one. He also had 6 receptions for 50. Waddle was only 4 for 45, but you know, he also has the drop. Jonnu Smith had moments and then he had mistakes. It's frustrating. Jalen Wright, Jalen Wright, we talked about this, right? They did get him in early, and after everything, he has 2 rushes for 18 yards. I don't know. There's a lot of shit going on that is hitting me with this loss. And the fact that you're home, you have everything on the line, you know you need to win. It's frustrating, man. It is just frustrating with Mike McDaniel. And there were things at least that kind of went your way. But the team has to do their job. And the defense, man. And listen, Cam Smith, I get it. He's young. He's basically still a rookie in his second year. He's barely played because of injury. Now you throw him in the mix, but he's not ready for it either. He was lost on that play earlier in the game where they caught the touchdown. He was completely lost. When Murray finds the guy in the middle, that's Cam Smith's guy. And Cam Smith bought on the rollout by Murray when there were a couple of other Dolphins. Meanwhile, you're leaving the receiver all by himself, and there's Murray finding him right in the back of the end zone. You can't do that with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can actually pass the ball. He has accuracy. This was frustrating, dude. It was frustrating as hell. The season's over now, because in order for you to overcome a 2-5 start, you have to have a great coach. You have to have an established culture, because the only reason good teams become 2-5, they had injuries, they had a bunch of setbacks, and then all of a sudden they find their footing and they have a great head coach and they have a great culture, and they look at each other and they say, hey, guys, we've been here before. Let's go. Let's dig ourselves out of this hole. Is that what the current Miami Dolphins are made of? No. This Miami Dolphins culture has no history of winning whatsoever. None. What they've done is the same shit most Dolphin teams have done over the years. They're either barely outside of the playoffs or they barely make the playoffs, and then they get booted out right away. That's all anybody's ever done. The most they've ever done. Since Shula, that's the most they've ever done. Nobody really goes on to the AFC Championship game or constantly is winning that only happened with Wanstead a couple of years, and you still had no impact in the playoffs. Zero impact in the playoffs. Zilch. Nothing. You got booted out right away more often than not. That's all any coach has ever done here. So, yeah, McDaniel's first 2 years, you barely make the playoffs. Yeah, that's kind of been done because the talent usually in the NFL is to put you right around 500. All you got to do is come up with a game or two, and you kind of make your season there already. And you have it. And this is another game that you should have won, but you have a freaking terrible coach on the sidelines in Mike McDaniel, where his team can never give you 4 clean quarters. Ever. They cannot play a great game ever, dude. And even drives, there's mistakes and penalties, and you have to overcome them and all that kind of stuff. It's really frustrating to watch a Mike McDaniel coach team. In fact, by saying Mike McDaniel coached is an oxymoron in itself, because you're not coached. And Tua, I cannot give you any kind of breaks whatsoever. None. You made some nice throws, no doubt about it, but bro, you can't make the stupid error. You just can't. You're not allowed to. And there were 2 other mishandles of the football, whether it was Brewer's fault or his, I don't care, but the one that went through the end zone, that's your fault. So your best player can't be making a key error, and your defense can't be dog shit. You gotta make plays. And you know, New Jersey Finn, by the way, I see the super chat. I'll get to the super chats on Cam Smith. I get you could call him a bust, but he hasn't even played enough to even find out. You know what I'm saying? And then he's fresh off being injured. And then all of a sudden he's thrown in the mix. This guy's not going to be ready for this. He's just not ready for this kind of shit. You're throwing a guy out there that's not even ready. But again, you have all these damn injuries. He's not supposed to be playing. You got Storma, you got Cater out. It's a pain in the ass right now. So I get it, and they're kind of stuck that they have to play him. But it's frustrating, right? Because you want him to do something, and they went after him, which we talked about it in the pregame. They were going to go after him. How are you not going to go after him? It's so frustrating. By the way, I see the super chats, and we appreciate them. But you can make donations also because, you know, YouTube takes 30%, those thieves. So you can also make donations, Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. We also made a QR code for PayPal too. So if you're anywhere in the world, you can send it in on PayPal too. So Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. And you can make a Bitcoin donation, which I took off my Bitcoin hat. I've tried every kind of hat this year. Nothing works, as you can tell. They're 2 and 5. So I don't have the mojo. I don't know. Some of you out there may want to. Do you know anybody that works any black magic, any voodoo, any something? Can you help the Dolphins out with something? I'm trying everything. I'm trying to break any habit. Try to start a new habit. I can't help the Dolphins from where I'm at. I'm trying. But then again, who the hell is going to help Mike McDaniel? I mean, it's sad, dude. It's sad to see where we're at, that this team actually has decent talent, and we have a guy that is really not ready for this. And he proves it week in and week out. And how long do you've got to be on the brink of losing the team. You have to be on the brink of losing. If you're not pissed off at everything going on, then you're happy with what's going on because you're getting paid and you're moving on, and that's cool. Because I'm not exactly sure how Stephen Ross and the front office and the head coach and all of the I'm not exactly sure how things are comfortable right now at 2-5. I'm not exactly sure how you're accepting this shit at 2-5. I'm not exactly sure how it's acceptable to watch this every week. And I tell you guys all the time, I don't think they're going to make any changes because they just paid for everybody. They just extended everybody. So what are they going to do? Eat all these contracts? That's crazy. I know you'll say, oh, that's what they got to do. At least fire the coach. At least fire the coach. I understand that everything else will throw it all in turmoil, but the coach is the biggest issue you have. Are we like Sean, put a poll now. Put a poll question together here. Okay? Is there any future with Mike McDaniel as a head coach? I'm not talking about Chris Greer and company and TUA and anything else, all the other issues. I'm just saying, okay? Like, example. Is Skip Schumacher the problem with the Marlins? I might lose some of you Dolphins because you're not like local. You might be watching somewhere else in the country or the world and you know nothing about the Marlins, right? But anybody that follows the Marlins knows that Skip Schumacher is a good young manager. Somebody's going to snatch this guy up because he proved it working with nothing here, right? So we look at him and we say, okay, he's not the broken issue here. Would you move forward with Skip Schumacher and not the front office and not the ownership? Most people would say, yeah. The Heat, okay? Is it more the front office or is it Eric Spoelstra? What would you want to move on with the Heat? If I say front office or Eric Spoelstra, I'm telling you 99% of fans are going to say, no, I'm staying with Eric Spoelstra. We can change the front office. Eric Spoelstra is the one that's in. That's the guy that's priceless, right? And I know they named the court and everything after Riley and all that stuff, but front office hasn't been impressive at all. Eric Spoelstra is the most impressive. So if I ask you, pull a poll question up, is there a real future with Mike McDaniel as your head coach moving forward? Yes or no? Is there a real future with Mike McDaniel as your head coach moving forward? Yes or no? I got to feel that that's a vote that would go down in the high 90s. Why would anybody feel like you can build on him? Like he gets better? Like, no. You're in your third year, and the third year is already done. There it is. Poll questions out. You can already vote. Is there a real future with Mike McDaniel as your head coach moving forward? It's just he doesn't make everybody better. Your team just does not play at a high level all the time. And it's frustrating. Like I was talking about it on the pregame show. You people are freaking amazing. Dolphin fans are awesome. You are so incredible. You're back every week. You're back every month. You're back every year. You're buying tickets. You're buying NFL passes all over the country. I don't know how it goes. Whatever passes you find overseas, I don't know how it is that you guys, but you take the time. You go to bars. You buy your shirts, your hats. You go support the team when they go to the Hall of Fame. You go on the road to go see them. You go to the draft to support them. You go to training camp. You sit in the sun. You get swamp ass. We don't get rewarded. Like, there's never anything on the other side for us. Ever, dude. The best thing about the trips that I've had is just meeting you guys. Commiserating with you guys, the pain, the suffering that we go through every stinking freaking week of every stinking freaking year. It's it's like a different group of Dolphin coaches and players just take their swings. It's the most frustrating thing in the world, dude. It really is. It's frustrating as hell being a Dolphins fan and going through this shit over and over and over again. And I go through Joe Philbin, and then I got to deal with Cam freaking Cameron, and then I got to deal with Flo, who's an asshole, and I got to deal with another asshole named Nick Saban, and then there's another asshole named Bill Parcells, and then, there's Mike McDaniel, and I swear to you, Dave Wanstead. I swear to you, it's the same thing. Two really nice guys, two really good human beings, but their organizational skills absolutely suck. Their decisions, more often than not, will burn you. It is amazing. One is tall, one is short. One's got some funky-ass, dirty-ass beard, some grunge-ass beard. The other one's got a porn stash. One looks like amazed, like, huh? What's going on? What happened? He had it today. Huh? What did they call? What, like in Buffalo? What down is it? Huh? Wani is. It's fourth down. What's going on? What are we going to do? We're going to run, right? We'll punt. Don't worry about it. We'll punt. It really is. Where's the light at the end of the tunnel, dude? There's no light at the end of the tunnel with this shit right now. It's not like I'm not going to watch next week. We'll be traveling. It's not like we're not going to travel the following week. It's not like we're not going to watch next year and the year after, but I want to know when, what happens? Is this the same shit over and over again? So who am I dealing with next year? Adam Gase part 2? The guy that invented social distancing before we even had a pandemic? What are we doing here? Is it Randy Mueller coming back? Another Rick Spielman? I don't know. What's going to happen? What are we going to do here? Is Don Aponte coming back? It really, and I understand the fans that say, like, I don't know how much more I can take of this. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand it. It's freaking painful. This is the same shit that happens to us all the freaking time. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Remember, Sloman's Home Shield. They're in like 14 different states now. And if you're looking for home security, folks, they're offering free home security system with free professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Free system includes the panel, the keyboard, 10-door contacts, window decals, lawn sign, professional installation, lifetime service, communication device, and a backup battery. And when it comes to Sloman's and their home security, they offer custom top-of-the-line home security systems. They're designed to detect intruders, alert the authorities, and give you real-time updates right to your smartphone, which, by the way, it's a beautiful thing when you see everything going on in your house from your phone. And you can even put cameras inside. Not everybody does that, but we do. We have 2 cameras inside because we want to keep track. We have 4 dogs. And we have these 2 big-ass dogs that are roaming the house all over the place. So you kind of want to make sure they're not getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, it's amazing because I catch wrestling matches on my Sloman's home security, which is fun. And it's just these 2 big-ass dogs. So it's fun sometimes. I get some entertainment thanks to Sloman's. But seriously, call them 1-800-ALARM-ME and tell them that Big O sent you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right. Like we said, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can also send in on what's it called? On PayPal too. Sean Harris, Venmo. Disgraceful. Whenever this team has an opportunity to fold, they fold. This organization is rotten to the core. And Sean, it's interesting you say that because it's true. It doesn't matter what era we're talking about. When the Dolphins have a chance to choke, they choke and they fold. And it doesn't matter what team, what era, they never end up coming through unless you're talking about way back when I was a child. Robert B. And by the way, Sean, thank you, sir, on Venmo. Robert B. Also, Big O, not having Zach Sealer today was a huge loss. James Conner was a beast on that last drive. Sealer would have helped. Oh, well, season is done. Robert in Denver. Robert, hey, listen. You've got it recreational. There's the bright side. Let's see. Oh, last week I said we needed 8 out of 11 to have a shot. 2-5 going into a road game at Buffalo. Yeah, the season is over yet again. Robert in Denver. Yeah. Ray Martinez, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He sent me some Ethereum. I love it. Love it. Cash App or Venmo. You can also send Bitcoin or Ethereum. Thank you, Ray. And he says, I'm pissed. He was at the game, so he should be pissed. Peter German, thank you, sir, on Venmo. New game, same old story. Bad coaching again cost us this game. I'm sober. McDaniel and Greer and make no changes, Ross. Listen, man, there's nothing to defend right now. Nothing is working. They're 2-5. Those linebackers, brother, they couldn't cover. They couldn't cover shit out there. Like they knew, and they got Trey McBride and those boys to just, have their way. That was sad. Anthony Lizzie, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Tua fixes a lot of things. He can't fix the D-line, though, or CFUs on this team. Yeah, constant cups. Yeah. Amen, Anthony. Thank you. Joe Cracchiola, again on Venmo. Thank you. Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. We get 100% there. You can also, we'll get to the Super Chats, too. Thank you. Joe Cracchiola, Big O, I'm officially on the tank for Cam bandwagon. That must go on an official house cleaning, top to bottom. This team has no heart. Love the show. Joe, I'm sort of with you. If I'm tanking for Shedeur. I'm not tanking for Cam. I'm more of a Shedeur guy over a Cam guy. See, I'm a Canes fan and all that stuff, but I've already talked about it on my show. You cannot play sandlot football in the NFL. There's got to be structure, 3-5 step plant, drop, throw, like right away. There isn't a lot of that. There's rarely any of that in Cam's game. And in the NFL level, you're going to have to do that on a consistent basis. So I don't really have nearly the hope you do for that. If you give me a choice, I'm going Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward. Let's see. What else do we have? Adam Pink, sir. Great to see you and the wife last week in Indianapolis, sir. Thank you. What a joke. McDaniel is not getting Tyreek or Waddle involved in the fourth quarter. Does Jonnu Smith have naked pictures of McDaniel? Just pathetic. Yeah, I want to get McDaniel. I want to get Jonnu, but not right. I get what you're saying. Not at the cost of Waddle and Tyreek. Yes. Rudy Castellanos. Thank you on Venmo. Do you know they could be 0? Oh, easily, dude. Of course they could be 0-7. Of course. It's just two stupid plays that got them to 2 wins. Yes. We all know that, bro. We all know that. That's why if I'm tanking for anybody, my brother, I'm tanking for Shedeur. They're not winning next week. Okay? The only bright side of next week is that I'll get to see Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn. Step by I'm sorry. I'm dating myself there. Abel Rodriguez on Cash App. Much love, my brother. Appreciate you. He says, for snafu, fire the head coach, get busy trading. Okay, so Abel, the problem is most of you want the front office fired. You want them also trading? Kind of a catch-22 for some of you out there. Can't have it both ways. I'm just messing with you, but you know what I mean. Alex Jorlando, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. I appreciate you immensely. Leonard Minuto, thank you. Lenny Locksmith, yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you on Cash App. Thank you. All right, let's get to the super chat, sir. Haven't even checked the PayPals. Let's see. True FinFan, get rid of everyone. I'm effing done. No more. I got nothing to say, bro. Thank you. And I get if you guys want to fire everybody. I guess I get it if you're tired of everybody. I'm tired of this shit too, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you guys. I'm tired of it also. Corso Traven, it's been fun, but another season gone. Someone's got to get fired again. Same old shit. Yeah. And I think it has to be at least McD. McD, to me, the talent is way better than the record. The incompetence of McD is baffling, bro. Like, he has zero business being a college coach at a Division III school. Listen to me, okay? If there's like a Division IV, I don't even know if it exists. I'm spitballing now. I'm just talking shit now. The lowest level of college, I don't know if I would have him as a head coach there. He's nothing more than an assistant that can throw some ideas to the real boss that knows how to organize everything. Next up. It is a New Jersey FinFan. Cam Smith is a bust. It's between the ears. I'm not ready to say that because he hasn't played enough. So, by the way, how's I guess he can get jiggy over there. Oh, by the way, did you watch that the defensive lineman was playing for them? That was with the Dolphins. The big old white dude. What's his name? Oh man, it's funny how like guys don't work out here and then they get to go somewhere else. I don't know, man. I'm not ready to give up on Cam Smith yet. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to blame the world of the Dolphins' problems on Cam Smith because he's coming up through a dysfunctional organization right now, a dysfunctional coaching staff. Next up, Gerald Exposito. By the way, I do understand. You want to call him a bust? Go ahead, whatever. You know what I mean? That's cool. Shame the Canes have to share a stadium with this garbage. Shame that the tennis tournament has to share the same field with this garbage. Shame that the F1 race. Shame that Jazz in the Gardens. Shame that Rolling Loud has to share the same stadium, parking lot, everything with that garbage. Shame that the real circus is not De Soleil, baby. It's the Dolphins. Cirque du Soleil comes here and no. They should put the big top right over the stadium. They screwed up with the 4. They need the 1. They need the 1 point on top of that stadium with it draped over. That's how you do the big top. Because the circus is there, not De Soleil. Next up. Snaps are still a problem, and the Dolphins' elite defense got exposed. Nobody ever said the Dolphins had an elite defense, bro. Slow down. McDaniel looks more of a fan on the sidelines than a coach. Frustrating. Yeah, I'm with you. But none of us said it was the elite defense. Come on, man. Estamos exagerando un poco. We're exaggerating just a little bit. A little bit. Next up. Moosey, I know we have a ton of problems, but how is Julian? I don't know how Julian Hill is still on the rock. But by the way, he did make a play today. He did catch a ball and held on to it. But yeah, with that fumble, it was like, why is he even on the field? Why is he trusted? I know I get he has physical ability because you see it. It explodes off the damn screen. I get it. I see it. I watched him live. I'm like, wow, this kid's got some ability. But he doesn't pay any price for the mistakes. You cannot reward people with more playing time. You have to bench them. By the way, what the hell is Tanner Connor doing on this team? The guy's been on this roster for 3 years. Stealing money without a gun and a mask. Next up. Hug all day. Let's get the Lions assistant GM or Louis Riddick to fix this mess. This mess is hard to fix. It's not easy because there's a lot of salaries already committed to a lot of players. It's tough, man. It's tough. And when more jobs become available, this will not be one of the sexier jobs because of all the salaries you're tied to and the inflexibility you have. That's the problem with the Miami Heat. They have no flexibility. They don't have any cap space ever. They're tied to a whole bunch of salaries. They have no draft picks, no first rounders, no second rounders. So they have zero leverage and zero ways to get leverage. And the Dolphins right now are in that position. So you're not going to even be able to recruit the best of the best. You will settle for lesser coaches and lesser GMs because the better ones will take the better opportunities where they have the higher draft picks, the cleaner draft, the cleaner cap space, and all those kind of things. Miami does not have that. I'm just being honest. Next up. Corso Travis again. This was a Greer depth loss. I can't defend anything right now. So Greer, McKenzie, Allen, Tom Garfinkel, everybody goes down here. McDaniel, everybody right now is Ross. Everybody gets blame here, unfortunately. Nobody walks away scot-free from this. Next up. It is Gerald Exposito. Canes, okay. We read that one before. Next up. Thank you, Gerald. Appreciate it. New Jersey Finn, terrible franchise. Amen. It doesn't get out. It can't get out of its own way, dude. It's a shame. Next up. Hypersonic, lame team, and shame. I would have to agree with that, my friend. Definitely. Next up, Tech guy Mark, without Tua in this game, you're all cooked. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Yes, sir. Let me see what we have here. We have our first PayPal. Mr. Casanovas, Big O, this team is the textbook definition of uncomplimentary football. Defense implodes, significant underperforming with roster. Oh, wait a minute. Is there more here? With roster of tail, and it kind of ends there. I don't know if there's more to it, if I can bring out more, but that's pretty good. Okay. Way to go, brother. You broke the ice. Joshua Velasquez, also on PayPal. Oh, no excuses. This is bad coaching staff. Bring back Boyer. Oh, wow. Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Very good. You guys were right about PayPal. Wow, I did not even figure that out. That was good. What do we got in the super chats? What's next? Mateo Dulio, McDummy cannot manage the clock. Yeah, brother, he can't manage the clock. He can't manage his roster. He can't manage the game. Dude, this guy is supposedly an offensive guru, and he had Skylar Thompson around him for nearly 3 years, and Skylar Thompson couldn't do anything. That to me was so insulting to me as a fan, because I'm like, wow, this is bad. This is bad. Like, you're supposed to be some kind of quarterback guru. Bullshit, dude. You're just a psychologist that blew a lot of confidence up, Tua's ass, and you helped him, but Tua did the rest. And by the way, you watched it today. He can't coach up anybody. He's not a real coach. You watch John Harbaugh, he'll coach up anybody and find a way to just make it happen. I used to have that with Shula. I know what it's like to have a great coach. I see it with Eric Spoelstra all the time. There are guys that know how to make it work. Then, okay, they've got, some Mike Vrabel, the guy we all want, the guy we've all clamored for. Mike Vrabel is the perfect example of a guy that finds a way to make shit happen, even with a backup quarterback, even with a terrible quarterback. You just somehow have at least a chance with Mike Vrabel. There are some of those guys in this league. Andy Reid. Okay, he loses Mahomes. Of course, he's going to lose more games. But whoever comes in is going to be capable. Andy Reid's going to coach him up. He's going to give him a chance to kind of succeed. You all know that. I know that. McDaniel has proven to us over and over again that he doesn't really make anybody better. That's why I can't defend the front office because of the results, but this team should be 5-2, not 2-5 with the real coach with this same talent. So I can't say they ran the ball today. We kept talking about the offensive line. Dude, was Tua running for his life today? No, not really. In fact, Tua screwed up on his own, but they ran the ball 150 yards. They averaged 6 yards a carry, 25 rushes, 150 yards, 6 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. HN 9.7, Jalen Wright 9 with only 2 carries, 2 up 4. Mostert only 2.1. But overall, you ran for 150 yards. Tua had enough time to make most of his passes as long as he could hang on to the snap. The line has proven that they're better than what we think. The last 3 weeks they've run. Your real problem is that you have a terrible coach. An absolutely terrible coach. A real coach should be 5-2. An elite coach might be 6-1. That's how bad it is. Next up, sir, on the super chat. Hypersonic, Cam Ward over Tua, yes or no? No. Tua's not really your problem. Tua's problem is Tua for himself. If he plays smart like he did today, even when he ran and he slid, everybody gave him a cheer and all that. Oh, wow, you used your head, dude, for thinking instead of a cinder block. Nice job. Tua's not really the problem. Your coach is your problem, bro. The coach is the biggest problem on this team that's holding everything back. There is zero hope with Mike McDaniel. There is no reason for Mike McDaniel to be your head coach. Really, dude. I would fire him. I bet you if you bring in another coach, everything changes. You know, if you bring Mike Vrabel now, everything changes. Everything will be managed a lot better. And hope will be restored. Because he'll win a lot more games down the stretch. He'll change the attitude of that team. Now, I'm telling you. But you keep sticking with this guy. I'm sorry. I can't. I've given up on him. By the way, the poll question, is there a real future with Mike McDaniel as your head coach moving forward? No, 84%. Yes, 16%. It's got to be Bills and Jets fans. Next up, Johnny Pope, sad people don't realize it's WWE. I don't know, bro. I disagree with it. I think it's more AEW. Next up, Joe DeLeo. I've been a suffering fan since Shula retired. It's becoming more challenging and painful to watch this team. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Next up. Sadly, the NFL is only a Masonic theater with a diehard fans being the only ones not in the joke and money laundering. There you go. The Popester has chimed in. Next up, Chris Travez, can't blame McDaniel for this one. Penalties we've cleaned up, and O-line looked good. David Long can't cover or tackle. None of the linebackers could cover or tackle. They all got burned. Brooks got burned too, bro. And Jalen Ramsey got burned twice today. He made some really good plays, Jalen Ramsey, and he also got burned a couple times. Yeah, so what? Harrison's catch was a great catch. It was a catch. Burned his ass. Appreciate the super chats. Remember, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Use the QR codes. We can read your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. Next up on the super chat, sir, it is true. FinFan Shador is light years better than Cam for NFL. That's just you and I say that, but remember, we're in Miami, so we have a crossover of Hurricane Dolphin, and they get blinded and all that kind of stuff. And I like Cam, don't get me wrong, but if we're having the argument of Shador or Cam, I don't think it's even a discussion the way I see it. For me, Shador Sanders is the perfect NFL quarterback. The guy that barely runs, the guy that plays from the pocket, the guy that manipulates the pocket, the guy that manipulates coverages with his eyes, the guy that has pinpoint accuracy. I'm sorry. The guy that just doesn't take the crazy chances at times that I see with Cam. That's just me. Next up. Frankie Fresco, the Dolphins defense sucks too. Oh, God, it sucks major ass. Yes. Go ahead. Next up. And thank you, Frankie. Joe DeLeo again. How can a pro team be so mismanaged? If they were a corporation, leadership would have been fired a long time ago. Building a competitive NFL team shouldn't be this hard. It's been incompetence since Shula retired. Shameful. Joe, none of us are going to argue with you, my brother, because that's what the results have been. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're watching right now. So appreciate you, man. Thank you for keeping us going. Thank you for the donation. Next up, it is Humble Legend. You know he's a real legend when he says he's humble. 46-year-old North Carolina native. Sir, I hope you are good and your family and everybody out there. Been a Finn fan since I played Tecmo Bowl. You're aging yourself, dude. With Marino at age 10. God, I love Tecmo Bowl. Every year, I let this team sucker me into believing like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the foot. Yeah. And we're back next week knowing that McD sucks and there's no hope, and we're going to be watching. Hell, I'm going to be in Buffalo. I'm going to be at a Dolphins bar, okay? And by the way, if you live in the Rochester, Buffalo, Niagara area, we're going to be at the River Pub next week. So please come on out and join us pre- and post-game show. We need all your help and support. It's a brutal season. No, but really, seriously. And I'm going to take some shirts. We're going to give away some Big O Show shirts. All right? So come on out, man. You might win yourself a Big O Show shirt. Plus, I'd love to meet any of the folks that actually support our show. What are you going to do? Go to the game and torture yourself? Now, come to the bar. Enjoy a cold one with us, and stay warm. That's a good thing. Next up. It is Marshawn Lebrone. Been a Dolphin since 77. I've never seen a coach this bad for my team. How realistic is it that he will get fired? He really needs to go. I know. And to keep him around is an insult to your fan base, to your season ticket holders, your suite holders, really, because we all see it. He's not capable to really be a coach at this level. How are you going to keep doing this, dude? Makes no sense. So I'm with you. Next up. No doubt. OBJ not taking Loft in the end zone. Why is he here? Listen, no doubt. I got to tell you something. The fade pattern crap, I don't want OBJ. I don't want Tyreek, and I don't want Waddle. And this is why you needed bigger receivers. And this is why McD frustrates me, because I like Malik Washington, but you added another small receiver. We haven't gotten Craycraft back, which would really help in these kind of situations. Craycraft, small receiver. I don't know what, I don't know que peo le da McDaniel, but he's got this crap. All his receivers have to be Oompa Loompas. And he can't work with bigger receivers. Meanwhile, Gesicki's catching passes. People are getting higgy with it. Other bigger receivers that you've had here are going to play elsewhere. Thank God he started throwing at least to Jonnu now. Maybe he went a little overboard, but hey. Conrad Isanat. Tell Tommy from Hialeah to F himself. Damn. Why you do that, bro? Tommy in Hialeah is a good dude. Toby Marmorino. Imagine Andy Reid and his staff coaching us. Oh. Why you got to do that to me? Why you got to do that to me, bro? Ozzie Fisher. Thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Not going for 2 on the last TD is one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen. I think McDaniel needs the Guardian cap. Thank you, my brother. The Great Fear is back. Oh, you're right. Fans get 0 for loyalty. We get a joke of a coach, a GM who laughs at the notion of addressing the O-line and can't pick a head coach. They don't even give us permanent throwbacks. Yeah. And talk to the fan groups. They don't get treated that well either. I get to talk to them. They don't get treated that fairly either. And dude, when you see the things that NorCal goes through, come on, man. The Positive Porpoise is a badass. Come on, Big E, a godfather. You see the Sports Babe. She travels to all these games, creates all kinds of events. Dolph Freaky does the same thing, travels all over, creates all kinds of events. She's got her Southwest Dolphins Club. Come on, man. Gorilla Luke and all these people, dude. There's so many, and there's Dolphin clubs in SoCal and NoCal and New York and all over. And they do not get rewarded, brother. They do not get rewarded. It is absolute dog shit. So I'm with you, Great Fear. Felix RKO. Would it be okay with you if the Sharks go after if the Dolphins, it looks like a shark. The Dolphins go after Belichick. No. That's passe, bro. We got to move on. Move on. Get something more modern, and that's changing with the times. He proved after Brady left, Brady was keeping his ass afloat, and he was going downhill, and he couldn't find anything. So let's be honest, okay? Bill had his time. Everybody has their time. And then, times a change. And not all of us, you can only change with the times so many. There's going to be a time where it's going to pass you up and you can't do it anymore. By the way, Chris Perkins and David Furones will join us shortly from the locker rooms. AZ, thank you for the love in the super chat. We're back with another episode of What Would You Rather Be? Would you rather be a Dolphins fan or a Mike McDaniel manscaper? Toxic Fart is in on the super chat. Thank you. I thought that would be True Fin Fan with the Toxic Fart. Anyway, Toxic Fart says, time to dig up my old VHS Marino era tapes. Yeah, those will bring you back. Go to YouTube. You don't have to bring back the tapes. Go to YouTube. Asia Headstrom, thank you for the love in the super chat. Tua kept the last offensive drive alive only for McDingus to kill it. He's clearly trying to protect Tua from failure. I don't know, dude. All I know is that McDaniel couldn't manage my piggy bank. Okay. Moozy, thank you for the love in the super chat. Vrabel made Tannehill look somewhat competent. Imagine what he would do with this roster. This organization is too dumb to go after him, though. I would easily go after him right now. Come save our team, please. Corso Travin says, what about droid attack on the Wookiees? That's kind of what they did on Cam Smith. They attacked the Wookiee because really he's still a Wookiee. He barely played last year. He's barely played this year. He's still a Wookiee. So there you go. Cy Love All. We love you for supporting us on the super chat. It's wild that as a Yankee, Dolphins, and a U football fan, the Hoosiers are my only highlight of the weekend. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Dolphins screwed up the whole thing over the weekend. Inter Miami won, the Heat won, the Panthers won, UM won, and leave it to the Dolphins to screw things up. It's amazing how consistent the Dolphins are over the years, that they are just absolute consistent screw-ups. Right? Really is amazing. Venmo, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal is the other way you can reach us and make a comment. Christian DiMartino, you sacrificed 3 hours of possibly kids' family time to sit and watch and pay after a long work week just for the slight hope of some satisfaction from your team. Unfortunately, this is what you get. This McD. D is soft. And you bring up a great point, Christian, because we do give up family time. We do give up time with our kids. We do give up time to go fishing, golfing, hunting. Bro, whatever you like to do. I don't care. Cooking. I don't give a shit. Gardening, whatever you enjoy doing, working on your cars, boats, you name it. So cool. There's so many different things that we all love to do that we'll be doing. And you do. You make that sacrifice, and look how it ends up. Peter German, thank you. He says, McDaniel had 2 screens to Connor, 1 pass, and a fullback dive. Why wasn't Wright given those opportunities? Let's be honest. McDaniel does not do anything to outthink our defense. The lack of getting Jalen Wright involved. I thought when he got him involved early, I was hopeful. I was okay, man. And yeah, not enough of that, I would say. Yeah, the defense is what was really pathetic today. Aaron Swain, how do we continually allow Tyreek and Waddle to disappear? This is embarrassing, Big O. Well, that's up to the coach too. All right. That's up to the coach. Thank you, Aaron. Isaac Harris says, I'm at the point where I'm hoping this team can keep losing so we get much needed changes. Thank you for being the voice for us fans. I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, Isaac. And hang in there, man. I know it's been bad. Rudy Castellanos, for a team that had a Monday night game and flew across the country and beat you at home, that's bad coaching. Hard to argue with any of that, my friend. Hard to argue with any of that. All right. David Furones is ready to talk after this stinking debacle of the Miami Dolphins with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins postgame report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
And folks, don't forget, because I know a lot of people are still dealing with stuff from Milton and from Helene. Please call Welton Rayom if you're dealing with any kind of issues with your insurance company. They're not responding. The last thing you should do, actually, when something happens is call your insurance company. You call Welton Rayom, they send their own adjusters, and then they call the insurance company and take on the insurance company for you. Insurance companies respond a lot faster and with a lot more respect when they hear from an attorney right away. If it's the first thing they hear from that client is the attorney, and not the customer, insurance, you have their full attention right away. When they hear from us, they laugh at us. You know why? You and I are dumb. You don't admit it, but I'll admit it. We don't know the laws and the loopholes, and they do. And so they burn us over and over. That's why they're laughing on the other line when you're, oh yeah, you okay, yeah, and they're like joking and all that. Meanwhile, your entire life is in the balance. Please have Welton Rayom, Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom. They won't. They'll get those people straightened out like they did for me. So 954-966-4646. The question is, David Furones, can they straighten out that defense? Because that effort today, I mean, Jesus Christ, those linebackers couldn't cover my grandmother.
Incredible after so many weeks where you just thought, well, all the Dolphins need is to get TUA back. That'll get the offense back on track. And then finally you do in some way, 27 points, that's a season high. TUA obviously was going to have some rust in that first game back, but still the offense was proficient at times. But then to have this defense, which had been so reliable through this whole stretch, keeping games tight, and it just fell apart against the Cardinals like this. Marvin Harrison Jr. Eating them up, whether it was Jalen Ramsey for that touchdown or in some other breakdowns in coverage. Trey McBride, they couldn't cover the tight end. He found holes in the zone every time you looked up. Kyler Murray escaping, whether they brought the blitz and then there were fewer guys on the back end, and Kyler Murray could just extend the play and they couldn't corral him, and then he broke them down. So,
and he's a passer. That's the difference with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he has that ability too, right? He was really dual threat. In reality, yes.
Yeah, he's a true passer. He's not an athlete playing, quarterback and shit. No, this guy has got accuracy and ball placement and anticipatory skills and all those kind of things. I know he's small and all that, but man, if he's playing his game like he was today, that water bug is a pain in the ass, dude. It's a pain in the ass.
Different from Anthony Richardson the week before. Way different. Yeah. So where he could actually, when he extends a play, then he could still rip you apart once he finds those holes in the secondary.
Anthony Richardson will never in his life be the passer that Kyler Murray is. Right. Never in his life. He'll be a thrower like these other guys out there. This guy's a real passer, bro. But it was just, it was bad. It was a terrible defensive effort. Obviously, the TUA mistake became, there's the two other ones, but okay, those didn't cost you. But the other one through the end zone, that cost you twice. It cost you the safety, and then they drove right down because you got a bad defense. It was bad, dude. It was just like you didn't have a lot of room for error, and you committed all the errors that you had any room for, basically.
Yeah, and just as momentum was building for the Dolphins right before that snap that was mishandled and then Tua batted through the end zone, then that's when you just had Tua go running for that first down, scrambling, had the crowd all hyped, sliding, everyone loved it. It feels like it's just going to be all right. This is back to Sunday afternoon at Hard Rock Stadium where the Dolphins take care of business. They score a touchdown 2 plays later. After that, you have a 10-point lead. You think, oh yeah, this defense at home, they'll handle this. They already got what they need, and the offense will probably score some more, and the Dolphins will roll from that point. But that mishandled snap, it kind of just started the snowball going the other way. It gave the Cardinals life, and that's exactly what they needed. Then they get the ball back on the safety punt, drive down the field, and even with the 2-point conversion not going for them, and they were still trailing, and then they still were trailing by 9 after that because the Dolphins did respond with a score. Still, that defense not getting stops, so pretty discouraging. Just you thought you had the defense all squared away, and then it turns around in this way when you finally get some offensive support for the first time in first time this season, really.
Okay, so I know it's not going to happen and all that, but the season is over. It is over, and over. You're not winning next week in Buffalo. You're going down to 2-6. What's the future? Why are you keeping Mike McDaniel? Where is there? I put a poll. Is there a real future with Mike McDaniel as your head coach moving forward? 85% say no. 15% say yes. I haven't seen any signs that says this is a guy you want to build for moving forward. Why would you, at least if you're the front office, I don't know if you can do this and get away with it, but to save your season or something, because a real coach, you should be 5-2 or 6-1 right now. And you keep losing games because you have a guy that his team is never completely prepared. And look at Julian Hill, dude. Julian Hill continues to screw up every week, and he continues to play. You know what I'm saying? Does Tanner Conner have naked pictures? Like, why is he taking a roster spot? You know, it's just there's a lot of shit that goes on with this team that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it starts and ends with Mike McDaniel. So I know it's kind of the impossible question, but why would you keep McDaniel? And at what point do these players say, this is not the guy, bro? Nice guy, but he ain't going to coach us out of this.
Yeah. I would say from the organization's perspective, they're still going to look at it like, well, you had Tua miss these 4 games, and Mike McDaniel was so instrumental in bringing Tua up from what we saw the first 2 weeks that there wouldn't be some drastic move, even as bad as this season has been. So not right now. I think even at the end of the season, if it keeps going this way, that's still the way it would look. They just extended him before the Dolphins went into this year. So that's not where I believe the organization would look. Almost regardless of what could happen this year. And then maybe if similar things start to surface again next year, and then even then, you're leaning back in your chair. I know but even at that point, then they're committed to this core. It's like every week they extended everyone on this team. So 85% are looking at it like they want a change at the helm, but that's not where the team will look right now.
You're lucky I can't find a rope to hang myself.
Oh, don't do that. Please don't do that.
You told me I got to go through next year with this guy. Jesus Christ, bro.
They just extended him.
That's the problem here. On this team, they extend you way too much rope. That's why Julian Hill keeps playing.
You brought it full circle there.
Tanner Conner hasn't done anything in 3 years, and somehow or another, he still has a roster spot. I don't get it. Tim Boyle couldn't complete a pass in college, and he still got a roster spot here. The things that got
Boyle was released now. Now Tim Boyle was released Saturday.
Stu Huntley
maybe they bring him back on the practice squad.
Offense.
Yeah.
New Montley doesn't even fit this offense. Skylar Thompson was around for 3 years and proved to be useless. I mean,
he's back as the backup now. He was the number 2 today.
And he's a useless backup. You know what I mean? It's like, God. Oh, no. What can I look forward to? Come on, David. What the hell are you going to – what hopium are you writing to the people out there?
Well, that's not my job to provide the hopium. It's to cover the reality of the situation. So right now, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it's Buffalo next week, and now you're staring 2-6 right in the eyes.
Okay, so what? How do you describe the crack den to Dolphin fans out there now?
Yeah. The only way would be because I was looking at these two like, all right, you got to win at home against Arizona, and then I'm chalking up at Buffalo as a loss. So now if they flip that and now they do pull off a road win in Buffalo, now all of a sudden I'm sure everyone will. Then you split those two. You did it reverse of what you should have done. But do I see that happening?
You said you didn't deal in hopium. What are you doing now?
Well, I'm just saying if that scenario plays out, if let's say next week somehow then they go into Buffalo and steal a win, now all of a sudden I'm looking at this 2-game stretch like, okay, well, they were supposed to split and then they just did it in the reverse fashion.
Okay, so they can run the ball now?
That there's glimpses of it. So how they do today? 6 yards a carry, 25 attempts, 150 overall. So Achane and Mostert got their spread. Jalen Wright, he was kind of again like phased out, but he was effective the couple of times that he did get the ball. But they went to it less now with Tua back. So it was 38 pass attempts, 25 rushing. So. Yeah, which you would expect somewhat of an uptick once Tua did come back, but
you actually have a real passer. It helps that you're a real passer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to go that way.
Yeah.
What I mean, so you're not convinced yet, or because I like the fact that it's been 3 games. If I'm going to find a positive, some freaking where, is that 3 games in a row they've been on the positive side of rushing. It's been what's it called? A complementary feature to the offense the last 3 weeks. How about that?
Yeah, I would say. And when Tua wasn't in there, then it was basically what you had to lean on. And then now with Tua in there, it's a complementary feature, like you say. So there's some hope there in that you could get the offense going back into the direction of something that we've seen in the past these last 2 years. Then it just hurt so much that then the defense was the one to give one up. It felt a lot like.
But if I'm going to point at a positive, Tua wasn't running for his life at all, and they ran the ball, okay? And they actually had some nice blocks. I got to go back and look at it, but I was able to rewind at times, and I was like, wow, man, there was a lot of nice structure to some of the runs. And so to me, that if I'm going to find something freaking positive out of this, because we have beaten this offensive line so much, well, the last 3 weeks they've developed some kind of an attitude to run the ball. That is good. This week they had the element of passing because they finally got their quarterback back. So the only thing that I didn't like about today was that Jalen Wright is not involved more, and I don't understand that whatsoever. I just don't get that one. I really don't. But whatever.
Yeah, he's the most physical runner the Dolphins have. It kind of goes back to just the way Mike McDaniel looks at things. It's like he's not going to give up someone's spot just because you have another slightly better option coming up that could provide a little bit more. It's kind of like he's not going to have his player lose that spot. So, and hey, Raheem Mostert, while he wasn't effective on a yards per carry standpoint, then he did score twice in this game. Maybe some of his carries in the more of the every other part of the field, maybe some of those could have started going to Jalen Wright's way. I think everyone would like to see that his greater incorporation into the offense. Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, the couple runs he had, he was productive. So yes. I don't understand how you're not using this guy more. I understand what Mostert has meant to you and what he's done and all that.
Yeah, but I think that's part of it.
You got to do what's best for the team. And sometimes what's best for the team is to bench Julian Hill. Sometimes what's best for the team is to play Jalen Wright a little bit more. Sometimes you got to do what's best for the team and do what everybody is seeing, dude. If you keep putting Julian Hill out there, he keeps making a key mistake and a key mistake and a key mistake. And it's just like, dude, you can't keep allowing that. It's like you're getting by with it. I mean, I don't get it. All right. So in closing, your thoughts on the season. Is the season over for the Miami Dolphins?
The season is on the ropes right now. Now you got to start pulling out wins that you didn't expect this team to pull out in order just to get to the point of a wild card game, probably in a cold environment.
You're doing it again. You're doing the opium to sell the papers. You're doing the opium. I said you don't deal. I caught you dealing. Arrest that man, Sean. Arrest that man for dealing.
I'm answering your question. The season is on the ropes. Yeah, I mean, the only way is so. I mean, I'm not trying to be. That's not even just a positive thing at all. It's a season that started with true playoff hopes of winning this division over the Bills, who lost Stephon Diggs this year, and some other pieces, a lot of guys that they cut for salary cap space, and then they're still now dominating this division. Where are they in the standings now? They're 5-2. The rest of the AFC East is 2-5, so they have a 3-game lead on the whole rest of the division, or New England and the Jets are 2-6. The Dolphins are knocking on the door of that same record. The Bills could get to 4 games up on the rest of the division next week. So, the Dolphins are on the ropes. Now every loss just puts them closer where they're on the brink of basically elimination, closer to having to win out. And you have at Buffalo next, you have at the LA Rams, who they look better after they now just got their receivers back. They play them on a Monday night. The Rams just beat the Vikings on a Thursday night. You have the 49ers later in the year. They probably get some of their guys back and look like the way they should by then. At Houston, at Green Bay. So these are going to be tough games. The Jets, are you really going to sweep both of those games? Is that probably going to be a split? Then so it's looking grim.
Looking grim? Or is it looking more like Glass Joe? Huh? Come on. Admit
That's
it.
good. Yeah. That's
Admit
just
it.
about right. Yeah.
That's the Dolphin season right there.
One punch away. Yeah.
Glass Joe. Okay. Did you play Mike Tyson when you were a youngin?
See, I'm a little too young for that, but I have memories of like my older brother or cousins playing it.
Okay. All right.
And when they were playing it, it was kind of like a throwback too. So it was before my time.
Is there a modern day Glass Joe that I can refer to in the video world?
I don't know.
Why are all the best
one right there? That's the best one.
all the best sayings from back in the day? Why is that? Why is it that you young people can't come up with a new Glass Joe?
I don't know. I think we come up with new other things though. So
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you might have the best example for this specific case, but
You do have the new stoner, okay? Because there was Spicoli, right? But now you have Wiz Khalifa. So we had Spicoli, then we had Snoop, and now we have Wiz. So the generational stoner, you guys have picked up on it, but you can't give us any Glass Joe. What's wrong with that?
you can't win them all. You can't win them all, though.
You're not producing the Glass Joes here, bro. So I got to go with Glass Joe right now. It's a Glass Joe season. All right.
You got the right one there. Yep. You nailed it with that one.
It's kind of what it looks like right now. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel since you're selling hopium.
Yeah, wrapping up this game, which is not much hopium. It's definitely the grim outlook that I just laid out, contrary to your belief, and I'll also be focusing on the play that I felt turned this momentum around in this game. That mishandled snap that then went through the back of the end zone. Things sort of spiraled after that. So looking into that, and then just another week, and as we get going next week.
Hey, you know what? The good thing is I get to see Niagara Falls next week.
Okay, yeah, you're hitting the road too.
Yeah, yeah. We're hitting. We're broadcasting at a Dolphins bar in Niagara.
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good. Yeah,
it's actually pretty cool. So yeah,
I'll find a quiet area at the press box at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park to do our postgame.
Thank you. That's kind of one of our things on the show, to broadcast at every Dolphins bar in the world that we can possibly do. So that's kind of our thing, and this
Very
is
good.
One on the bucket list to broadcast. It's a husband and wife. They own the bar. The wife is the Bills fan. The husband is the Dolphin fan. So half the place is Dolphins, half the place is Bills.
Wow.
And I'll be broadcasting in a room that has a Merino jersey and all that kind of stuff and all the Dolphin colors. So it's pretty cool. It's a cool thing. So
yeah, I might want to visit that place one of these Buffalo trips. I make one, maybe two trips every year.
It's 40 minutes from the stadium.
Okay, yeah. Now, I did pass by Niagara Falls last year. I had a lot of time to kill on the Monday before flying back. So yeah, I did pass by Niagara Falls to see it for the first time since I was a kid. That would be cool to check out.
All right, another loss. I might be jumping right into the Falls. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, have a terrific night. We will talk on Thursday, my friend. Appreciate it.
Sounds good, Big O. And I hope I don't find your body in Niagara Falls by Sunday evening next week.
Don't worry about it. I'll have like one of those barrels. I'll be safe. I'll be breaking a Guinness record or something like that. That's really what I'll be doing. All right, dude. You got it. Later. All right. I'm a lot skinnier. There's more of me to sneak into the barrel now. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. By the way, Welton Rayom, nobody cooler than Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. I mean, one is a stunt pilot. Okay? Yeah, that's Daniel Rayom. So, you know, when he walks into a courtroom to defend you, he's got ice in his veins, bro, because he's the ice man. Okay? Daniel Rayom and Jeff Welt, coolest cat, big Dolphins fan, big Canes fan, Bitcoin guy, all that, rock and roller. He goes to a lot of concerts like I do. Jeff Welt loves his music. Daniel Rayom, 954-966-4646 for the best lawyers in the biz.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Selling that hopium. David Furones. We love him. That was good. That was good, selling that hopium. Nice job by him. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. David Ivernese on Cash App. Thank you, sir. For Big O, at least TUA said slid the right way today. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Thank the Lord. He learned his lesson, which is good. Last thing we want to see him is take on any tacklers. But the question is, will he continue to do it? You know, it's like one of those things. You do it a couple times, you get cocky, and then all of a sudden you think you can do it, and you want to then take the next step, and you want to take on some contact and stuff. That's not good. So it was great today. Let's see if he continues to do it for a long time. Abel Rodriguez, Oompa Loompas, laughing my ass off, Big O. Thank you. It is true, isn't it? It's kind of what it's kind of who they are. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Jill Payton, thank you for the love on Venmo, Jill. Please talk my son, Joe Payton, off the ledge. I'm a lifelong Dolphin fan, born in 72. I made my husband and son's Finn fans, and they've never seen a truly great team. Today's like the last straw for my football-obsessed son. Help. You know, Jill, some people would say that they should charge you for child abuse for making them Dolphins fans. You know, that could be the case here. You know what I'm saying? But what I would say to your son, okay, Joe, hang in there, brother. I know, dude, it sucks. All right. I'm a Marlins fan. I've gotten beaten up like crazy. And, you know, the Panthers were really bad for a long time, from expansion all the way till now. So it took them like nearly 30 years to like get their shit together, you know, excuse my French, kid. And so what I would say is, if you're not a fan if you don't hang in there even through the tough times. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you still love your mom, and she made you a Dolphins fan. Think about that. That's true love there. So now your true love has to transfer over to the Miami Dolphins. And you got to hang in there. I know it's not fun. It's not an easy thing. I'm traveling to Buffalo, young man, knowing my team's going to get their ass kicked. But it's still my team. Through thick and thin. And so the day they do come through, it'll be glorious. It'll be beautiful. So that's why we do it, young man. We do it because we hang in there. It's the easiest thing is to get on a bandwagon. But you end up lying to yourself because you're on a bandwagon and you're like cheering on a team that your heart's not in it. So what am I going to do? Bandwagon and get on the Chiefs bandwagon now? Why? Because they're winning and I'm not. You know, I hope, Joe, you have other teams. You know, I hope you're okay. Your mom says you're football obsessed, right? Okay. I hope you're, basketball or hockey obsessed or baseball obsessed or soccer obsessed. So you have other teams to lean on. Like for us here, for me personally, I have the Panthers. They won the Stanley Cup. Remember, I told you they were bad for like 30 years, constantly screwing up. And finally, we got the right ownership. They got right management. They started winning. They started getting to the playoffs. And now they won the Stanley Cup. And they've been in the Cup a couple times. So my Dolphin misery is a little, at least eased by my Panther success. My Dolphin misery has been eased by the Miami Heat's 3 championships. My Miami Dolphin misery has been eased by 5 championships by the Miami Hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? By the way, send Perk a link again. Apparently, he just sent me a message. So these kind of things help me. I'm an Inter Miami guy in the MLS. They're in the playoffs. They just won the first round. So I have my good and my bad moments. And then the Marlins have won 2 World Series. So I get to kind of play off of that and deal with the misery of the Dolphins. Now, I'm an all sports guy. So maybe it's a little different for you, Joe. Maybe you're only a football guy. That could be the case. But at least I would try to tell you, try to find, a release somewhere else that might help you out. A college football team, another pro team in another sport, that kind of stuff. But bouncing around teams, that's not a good fan. It's not a good fan. And internally, deep down inside, when you lie to yourself, come on, Joe, we've all done it, right? At one point or another in our lives, we're going to lie to ourselves about something. And then what ends up happening? Kind of blows up on us, right? Because you don't feel the same. And that's what's going to end up happening. You go to another team, you might be celebrating their success, but you really didn't earn it because you weren't that from the get-go. And that's what's the beauty of being a fan, is being there from the beginning whenever you started, and you stay with it through the good and the bad and the ugly and all that. And I understand, young man, it's been ugly. It's been ugly. But hang in there, man. One day they will figure it out. One day, Joe. And you and I will be high-fiving in the Super Bowl one day. Okay? So that's what I would say. That would be my message. And please don't call social services on your mom. That would be my other message. Jill. Boy, Jill. That's a taxing thing you did on that young man. All right, we are waiting Chris Perkins, the Perk Man, to join us. Okay? What do we got here? What's the next super chat? Frankie Fresco, explain this. The Dolphins have 2 seasons of good football, and now they are terrible. It's not only McDaniel, it's good. No, wait a minute. Frankie, was I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Was I last year praising Mike McDaniel during a winning season? I could have sworn I said last year that this year would be the season that would put him on the hot list, on the hot seat, if he continues to coach the way he coached, even in a winning season. I don't know, Frankie. I don't know if are you really paying attention to this show? All right, the great EJD Construction, proud sponsor of our program and proud sponsor of this segment with Chris Perkins, our EJDconstruction.com. Miami Dolphins post-game report with the one and only Chris Perkins.
Time to go to the locker room, Miami Dolphins fans. Let's find out what's percolating with the one and only Chris Perkins in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report.
All right. Perk, how you feeling, my man? How was that locker room? It was lively, wasn't it?
Oh, Big O, these guys are very subdued. They are. I think really what happened today to me was the realization sank in that the problems are bigger than Tua. And this is what I've suspected for a long time. I've written this, that you think when Tua comes back, you wave a magic wand and everything is okay. No, your problems are way deeper than that. There are fundamental flaws with this roster and the way that it was constructed, the way that this team is coached, the way that this team approaches things, the way that this team views things. There are fundamental flaws with this team that must be addressed, and I think that became apparent today.
Damn, David Harris from the Warriors passed away.
Oh, wow. He's young, huh?
No, 75.
Oh, 75. Okay. Well, that's a good life. I was thinking 60.
Warriors, the movie, not.
Oh, you know what? I thought they had I was thinking of a player that they had at Golden State. I don't even know the David Harris you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. You saw the Warriors.
I've seen the movie. Yeah, I've seen them. I don't know who he is. I have no idea who David Harris is. I thought you were talking about a guard for Golden State. I seriously did. Like back in the 80s.
When they run into the chicks on the subway.
Oh, okay.
The tall brother says, hey, now look at what you find here in the big city.
Oh, okay. All right. I never knew his name.
That's his line, David Harris.
Zero idea. Oh.
Yeah, and there's like a ton of shit in here, bro. Anyway, all right. This, and like you said, the problems are deep. Okay, so season's over. You're losing.
Probably, but let's wait and see. If you go to Buffalo and win next week, which hasn't happened in your last 8 trips to Buffalo, I know, then you can get back into this thing. But yeah, next week you've got to do it. You've got to do it next week.
I thought you were supposed to do it this week.
You were. Hey.
I mean, okay, so then. I'll pose the same question I posed to David Furones. I'll pose to you.
Yeah.
And I know it's not going to happen, but I've seen enough of Mike McDaniel. There is zero hope that he can turn into a competent complete head coach. He's a beautiful human being. We all see that.
Yep.
Really nice man. He by the way, I kind of feel very Dave Wannstedt-ish right now.
Yeah.
I two guys that are very likable, but really as the leaders of your foot. No, they're not. They're like assistant coaches. They're not really the leaders. And because of whatever flaws they have in them or whatever, Julian Hill continues to play and he makes mistakes over and over. Nobody ever pays a price. And I know he actually hung on to a ball today, which was a miracle of God. But my point is, it's just like you said, there's just fundamental flaws. But the fundamental flaws, I think, start and end with your head coach. So I know the front office is going to end up paying a price for all of this. But I'm just saying, dude, like your season is young enough. A coaching change. This guy does not sell future anymore to anybody, not to your fan base, not to your sponsors. Nobody really believes that this guy's head coach material.
Big O, I tried to warn about this late last year. You remember the column that I wrote before the Chiefs game? If Mike McDaniel does not win, his seat should be uncomfortably warm in the offseason, and then hot seat appeared in the headline. But yeah, this this team has it continued. The offense continues to be based on the big pass play. They didn't have that today. Second straight week, they're staked to a 10-0 lead, and they can't hold the lead. You rushed for 150 yards, but you didn't win. You're, I believe, 1-3 this season when rushing for over 100 yards. That run game is not going to win you games. It's going to take up some yards, and it's going to provide a balance for the pass game. But if you can't go over the top and hit deep passes to Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, you're going to lose. That's what happened today. That's what's been happening all season. Teams are onto this offense. This started last season. And I kept telling everybody, when you were 1-6 and you were losing to these good teams, they were holding you to 16 points per game. Oh, Perk, they were the number one offense. Why are you just picking out the bad games? Okay, I'm telling you, this offense doesn't work. And we saw that again today. And look, Tua contributed to it, right? The snap that goes right off his hands. I talked to Aaron Brewer in the locker room after the game. He said, yeah, maybe the snap was a little hot. It came back hard, but it hit him right in the hands. And he's right. The snap hit him right in the hands. I didn't see anything that was faster about that snap than any other shotgun snap. But look, and here's the other thing, Big O, that I've been telling people. Your big players don't come through in the big games. I mean, Tua, Tyreek, Mostert, Waddle, like
Ramsey got burned twice.
Yeah, Ramsey got burned. Ramsey had his worst game of the season today. Yeah, he had his worst game of the season today.
And by the way, the linebackers couldn't cover my grandmother, bro.
Yes. I mean, Trey McBride just running wide open. I had a DB tell me, yeah, they made adjustments at halftime. That they knew our zone defense and where to find the soft spots, and the Dolphins didn't make any adjustments. This was Anthony Weaver's worst game as the defensive coordinator. And here's the other thing, Big O, that and I've written this also, that this team just thought they had done so much by finishing number one in offense and having Tua lead the league in passing yards and having Tua lead the league in passer rating. And they get all these contract extensions and they have the great touchdown sellies and they're great on social media. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, but y'all haven't won anything. And the other writers are looking at me like I'm crazy. And I asked a player in the locker room about that just a few weeks ago, that do you think this team has its priorities straight? And I said, because you saw those celebrations after the contract extensions, and he looked at me like I was crazy. All they're doing is celebrating their accomplishments. And I wanted to say, what freaking accomplishments?
Right. Individual
just doesn't get right. That's their whole thing, is the individual and the touchdown sellies and the social media. They don't understand winning. They don't understand that winning playoff games has value. They think all the stats and all this other stuff has value, and nobody in that building tells them that they're wrong.
Well, that and when you watch the team that's just up the street from them, the Panthers, their big players come up in big moments all the time. And they had – see, the thing about the Dolphins that they still haven't gotten and they don't understand is, man, start celebrating when you actually have a winning culture. You know, the Panthers now have developed a winning culture. Obviously, Inter Miami is well on their way to developing a winning culture. You know, and the Heat have had it for a long time. Obviously, they're probably a team now in transition. But the Dolphins, it's like you said, you haven't accomplished shit, dude. Individual things, we've seen that before. Ricky Williams tearing ass for 2 years. Again, team-wise, what did it mean? Nothing. Jason Taylor, Defensive Player of the Year, all that stuff. Team-wise, what did it mean? Absolutely nothing. We've seen the individual stuff, you know, X with the 10 interceptions. What did it mean team-wise? Absolutely nothing. And it's just, there's too much celebrating the individual, and there's not enough focus on celebrating what's the team accomplishment, not the individual accomplishment.
Yep. And you know, Big O, the problem is there's nobody in that building to set them straight. There's nobody in that locker room to set them straight. I thought Calais Campbell and Jalen Ramsey would be the ones to, you know, kind of get these guys focused and on the, you know, pointed in the right direction, but it hasn't happened. And I'm not saying that it's their fault. This might be beyond them. This might be bigger than them. You know, this is one guy who came in last year and Jalen Ramsey, and a guy who comes in this year, Calais Campbell. You know, this team just needs they need an attitude adjustment, Big O. The talent, this is playoff talent. I'm not saying they're good enough to win the Super Bowl, maybe not even good enough to go to the AFC Championship, but it is playoff talent. You should,
hell yeah.
And you should be, with this schedule, Big O, you ought to be able to get a hhome playoff game and win that this year.
You should be 5-2 or 6-1 with the real coach right now. Right now, 5-2, no worse than 5-2 with a real coach. Okay.
Boy, I don't know if I'm going to go that far with it, Big O, but yeah, Mike McDaniel has to take the bulk of the blame here. He's got to take the bulk of the blame. Again, this is his team. This is his design. He's the one who comes up with the talent. Chris Greer goes out and shops for the talent. Okay, he's Instacart. This is Mike McDaniel's design, Mike McDaniel's talent, Mike McDaniel's offensive system. Like the way that players are treated, the player empowerment, all of this is Mike McDaniel. And he is now, Big O, 22-21 as a coach. He is barely over 500. And you look at all the talent that this team has, and you're just like, there's no way that is reflective of what this team should be. There's just no 22-21. Are you kidding me? Dave Wanstead could have done way better than that. I mean, I get the feeling that this is kind of the Adam Gase, Joe Philbin, Brian Flores territory that, dude, you've got this much talent. You've got to do better.
Okay, so here's the thing with all of that, and I know you extended him. What message are you sending to the fan base? What message are you sending to season ticket holders, sweet ticket holders, sponsors? What message are you sending to the media? If you have an incompetent head coach overall, I mean, the man had Skylar Thompson next to him for 3 years and didn't realize he couldn't play. Yep. That's pathetic, dude. That's pathetic.
Yeah, you can't coach Tim Boyle any better than to know it's fourth down. Don't throw the ball out of bounds. Look, Tim is a 30-year-old ex-NFL quarterback now because he's unemployed. But he ought to know better, and you ought to drill it into him. Look, last thing he ought to hear in his ear, right? I think the ear set goes off at 14 seconds before the snap. Right. Last thing he needs to hear, don't forget it's fourth down. You know, and maybe you don't even need to hear that when you're maybe a college kid needs to hear that, and an NFL quarterback shouldn't need to hear that. But I've got to give that to coaching. Like you can't have Tyreek Hill just looking at the ball against Tennessee. It's a lateral. The ball's rolling around, and you're looking at it like. Right. These things don't happen in Pittsburgh, in Kansas City, in Baltimore, in San Francisco, in Philadelphia. I guess I probably shouldn't use Philly because Sirianni is yelling at fans and looking like a jerk. But, the better coach teams, Big O, this stuff doesn't happen.
No, I'm with you. And that's What message are you sending? That's the problem that I have with all of this, because the season really is over. Whatever hopium you or David Furones want to sell here. Oh, well, maybe if you pull it off next week, you're not pulling off next week, bro. You're not going to Buffalo and
Probably
winning.
not.
And even if you do, I still don't think you're pulling off the season, because the coach has not shown me consistency that he can. In order to come out of a hole like this, I was talking about this in the beginning of this. In order to come out of holes like this, you have to be a team that was really good and suffered some catastrophic injuries that set your season back early on. Now you got your guys back, and you can look in the locker room, look at each other and say, hey, guys, we've been here through this. Let's go. A KC or something like that. That's not what this team is. This is not a proven coach. This is not a team that's been time and tested or anything like that. You're in an insurmountable hole now at this point to get out of it, and you've never even shown the ability to do something like that. That's why I'm saying you're really selling basically the white flag to your fan base if you're keeping Mike McDaniel in place.
I think there's things to be considered here, Big O. Look, we know Buffalo was 6-6 last year, and they put it together, right? So you've got to give this some chance. Plus, these players absolutely love.
What has Buffalo accomplished over the last few years? I'm sorry, is that anything compared to the Dolphins?
Well, I know they look. What I'm saying is the season is probably over, but it's not over. It's not over till it's over. Now, the Dolphins have a lot of things working against them, right? They still haven't showed you they can beat good teams. They still haven't showed you they can win on the road. They still haven't showed you they can come through in December and January when they're 4-10 under Mike McDaniel. Like nothing is lining up in their favor at all. So, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. What do you tell Tua if you get rid of Mike McDaniel, and what happens to your entire offensive system? You probably have to chuck it. This is how Tua excels. Is Tua going to excel in another system? Is he going to be this good without all the rah-rah Tua, we love you, nothing you do is wrong? I don't think he will. And so this is all the stuff you've got to consider. If you fire McDaniel, you pretty much are going to blow this whole thing up after the season.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can succeed with Tua in other ways. It's just you need to be coached better. You need to build a better offensive line. You need to run the hell out of the football. And Tua can win with anybody, dude. He won even with a guy that hated him in Flo. Flo hated him, and he still had a winning record with Flo and had very little talent around him. I don't think Tua is necessarily the problem. I don't think the talent is necessarily the problem. I think the coach is the problem. You just talked about Mike Tomlin. You switched the coaches, and this team is easily 5-2. Easily.
I don't know, Big O, because your talent is this team wins in a certain way. And again, it is that big play passing game. They're not going to beat you with this run game. It's not. It's going to pile up a bunch of yards. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts, and you're not even going to bleed out. You're going to kick their butts before you bleed out. Like, this team, you rush for 193 and 188 and 150, and you've gone 1-3 in those games. Like, you're not beating anybody with this run game. So a new coach comes in, and it's like, how do I win? Well, this is how this team was trained. This is how they were raised. Like,
yep, the new coach has a better defense, then you can win. If the new coach has a better special teams coach, then you can win. If a new coach knows how to stick to the run when it's working, you can win. I know Mike McDaniel finally won a challenge, but if a new coach can constantly win challenges, you'll know how to win. If a new coach knows how to have a capable backup, you will win. I mean, there's a lot of things that go to this puzzle and why Mike McDaniel's not winning, because Mike McDaniel constantly makes bad decisions, like keeping Danny Crossman around, like keeping and lining up Julian Hill week in and week out, where he's constantly hurting you with penalties and mistakes. These are mistakes that he is making and burying his own team. When they needed a backup quarterback, he did not have one prepared for his team. That is absolutely an irresponsible failure on his part to do something like that. So, yes, I will tell you that if you had a better coach, the entire environment would be better for everyone. And everyone would be more productive because there would be more balance. But that you need a better coach for that.
But I don't think that's not going to happen this year. You're talking about next year and revamping this thing. Like, nobody can come in this year and wave a magic wand and say, okay, we're going to be a running team. They're trying to flip a switch right now and make themselves a running team. It's not working. Again, 1-3 when you're over 100 yards. You're not going to score touchdowns running the ball, Big O. This team is not equipped. When you try to run the ball too much with this team, you know what happens? You have 2 fumbles. And look, against Indy, you had 15 second half runs. 5 of them had bad outcomes, right? You lost 2 fumbles. You didn't convert a 3rd and 1. And twice on first down, you had -2, meaning you had 2nd and 12 with Tim Boyle as your quarterback. That's right. 5 bad runs out of 15. You're not winning. You're not winning. You can't score touchdowns.
A couple weeks ago, you didn't give the defense any love when they deserved loved in the game because they had no reason really for the loss. The defense actually held up, and it was the offense. Today, you're doing it again. The defense is the one, not the running game. The TUA mistake and the defense cost you this game alone because the defense is the one that folded every time. They gave up all the plays to Murray. And when TUA made the mistake and gave up the safety, they immediately gave up the drive right there and gave up 6 more. The defense alone and TUA's mistake is what cost you pretty much this game today. The running game did its job. I can't blame the running game today. Would I have liked to seen Jalen Wright more? Yeah. Okay, that's the one knock I have on the running game that I thought McDaniel screwed up, and he didn't use Jalen Wright. But blaming the running game? No, dude, I blame the defense and TUA's brain fart for the loss today.
Again, Big O, I'm not blaming the running game for the loss. What I'm saying is the run game is not going to win you games. It'll keep you level. It'll provide a good balance for the passing game and for offense, for play calling. But it's just not. You're not. These guys aren't good enough. These running backs are not good enough to win you games.
No, but Perk, today the running game played winning football, dude. The running game is not an issue. You cannot put the running game as an issue at all for the loss today. It had nothing to do with the loss.
It's Big O. The running game is going to keep you afloat. Okay, it's not going to win. It's almost like this defense. It's going to keep you afloat, right? It's not going to win you a whole lot of games. It's not gonna. This defense is not going to hold Buffalo to 21 points, right?
No.
Okay, that's how a defense wins you games. If the defense allows Buffalo 28 and you outscore them 35-28, okay. That's what this defense does. That's what this run game does. The offense and the big pass, that's what wins you games.
Well, okay, no, I understand that, but we have been wanting them to have balance and have the run game.
Yes,
and
I'm all for the balance.
The only positive I find out of the last 3 weeks has been that you've actually consistently run the ball, which to me is an element that TUA needed. Because every quarterback that you go and see has success, you watch the running game and they're producing 130, 140, 150, 170 yards. Yep. And if the Dolphins are in that area, dude, I'm super happy with the running game. I'm fine with that. Today I have to lay the blame mostly on the defense and TUA's brain fart. That one mistake he made was super costly. You lost by 2.
Yep.
Everything.
I've just got to see it again. I got to see the big plays from TUA to Tyreek and TUA to Jalen Waddle, because if you go back and look at the games that this team has won, I'm not sure that there's not big plays with TUA to Tyreek and TUA to Waddle in every one of those victories. You haven't run for 250 yards and won a game, maybe Denver, but. Again, the run game is balanced. It's the dessert. It's the appetizer. It's not the main course. The main course is that big pass play.
Dedicated to it, Perk. That's why you weren't.
Yes, no, I know. I like that. I like the dedication. I like that. I like that. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Let me be clear. Again, if that's the engine that has to drive this bus, it's not going to happen.
No.
Right. It's on the run game is a necessary element, but it can't be the main element. The main element is those big pass plays to Tyreek and to Jalen Waddle. And when they aren't there, this team is going to struggle.
So what can Stephen Ross do to send the message to the fan base from here on out when you're 2-5 and it looks like nothing is working?
I think you probably have to ride out the next few weeks and just kind of take the temperature and see, because again, let's just say you fire Mike McDaniel tonight. What are you going to tell Tua when he comes into work on Monday? That, hey, your buddy is gone. Like, I know this is the guy who made you. Now he's gone. And
that's bullshit.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did.
Bro, he was a psychologist and blew confidence up his ass. He's not a competent coach, bro. He proved it. Tua leaves and he falls apart. He's not a good coach, dude. He did nothing for Tua except his confidence. Tua has carried his sorry ass from the get-go, dude. Please, look at what happened today. Without Tua, he's dog shit as a coach every single day. He does nothing. He blows smoke up people's asses.
Tua hasn't done anything without him.
He won even with Flo hating him.
But Big O, I mean, you won, but I mean, you didn't go. You weren't going anywhere. You weren't going to the Pro Bowl. You weren't going to get a contract extension.
And what talent was around him and what coaching staff was around him to lift him up to that area?
Right. McDaniel did that for him. He brought in Tyreek. Like the Tua to Waddle wasn't getting you anywhere. Right? We saw that for 2 years.
I get, but that's all there was, because and he still caught 100 balls and he still got over 1,000 yards. They still won more than lost. He still threw more touchdowns than interceptions. Having no talent, no offensive line, no coaches, Tua overcame all of that, actually, which is pretty amazing as it is. And now he's got an incompetent coach on the sidelines that doesn't know how to use a run, doesn't know how to use the tight ends. And all he likes to do is throw long. And if you watch Warren Sharp's charts, the most difficult passing game in the entire NFL is Miami and Tua Tagovailoa, which he's not the most talented quarterback in the world, but yet you're making him run the most difficult passing game in the NFL. How does that make any sense? That's because it's bad coaching, Perk. That's what's going on.
I agree with that. I've had a major problem, Big O, with this whole thing from the jump. That's why I predicted them to go 8-9 in 2022, because nothing about this plan made sense to me. I looked at it and I was like, this is not how you win in the NFL. Nothing about this plan has ever made sense to me. So I know what you mean with the coaching. At this point, today, I don't think it's productive to fire Mike McDaniel tonight or tomorrow. I think you let it go a few more weeks and see what happens. You see what you got to feel Tua out for this thing. What if Tyreek starts acting a fool? And what if the whole thing, I just think that these guys are so entrenched and so dug in with Mike McDaniel, the guy who loves them, the guy who lets them do whatever the hell they want to do, which I don't agree with that.
You're really answering your own question with all of that. Everything that you're saying, you're answering everything that I'm talking about. This is why he's a problem. This is why.
Listen, I was the first one on the Mike McDaniel is not all these cracked up to be bust. Everybody laughed at me. Everybody said you're crazy, Perk. And I'm like, I'm not seeing it here. I just don't think at this particular point, maybe if they lose the next 3 or something like that, but at 2-5, I think you're almost in position to go down with the ship. Pretty much, almost. I think your advantage to getting rid of McDaniel mid-season or during the season at this point is probably just so you can be on the minds of the next best head coach. The next hot offensive coordinator that's out there can think, Dolphins, okay. I just, aside from that, I think that you just kind of ride this thing out. If you get to 2-9 or something like that, okay. But at 2-5, I'm still going to ride it out for a few more weeks, definitely.
Your message.
I know we're not going to agree on this, Big O. We're not going to agree.
No, we're not. No, we're not. I mean, because I was also like you last year. I was all over McDaniel's ass while they were winning. I said next year will be the hot seat year.
Yep.
That he'll screw it up, and then he'll be put on the hot seat for the following year, and then and all that. But I don't even want to go through that. I don't think they should. I don't think they should do that to the fan base. I don't think they should do that to their season ticket holders. There is no light at the end of the tunnel with that man. None whatsoever. That's my problem with Mike McDaniel. And why would you continue? Like Mike Vrabel's out there, and I know he's consulting with somebody else, but brother, I would bring his ass in and find a way to, that would give you a guy that is proven, that has done it before, and a hard-nosed guy, and would bring a tough edge to this team. And, whatever shakes from that after that, so be it. But you got to make a change, and a change for the better. And by the way, by firing your coach, you're first in line, so you can start searching for coaches.
Yeah, that's the big advantage right there is being first in line, and having these other coaches that are top assistants thinking, Miami's out there. I'm not going to listen to anybody else. I'm going to listen to Miami. That's the advantage. That to me is the biggest advantage.
And Vrabel's not coaching on a team right now. He's just consulting, so you can steal his ass right away.
Yeah,
actually, and other guys literally have to wait till their teams are eliminated and the season's done and all the professional crap. Whereas with Vrabel, you can start to reshape this thing right away. And let by the way, let him assess the talent on the team for the rest of the way, who he wants to keep and not. And he gets to go in the locker room, in the film room for the rest of the year, gets to assess it and move on. And I think that would juice up the fan base and people, because they would see, okay, this is a proven guy. Okay, the Dolphins mean some business. They want to take advantage of what they have right now and maximize it. This is a guy that can maximize it. I'm just saying.
Big O, here's the more significant move, and the one that gets to the issue. Chris Greer. Are you going to have Vrabel and Chris Greer? I think we would agree the GM is the most powerful and most important person in the organization.
You might have to deal with it. If I'm saying, if you make the change now, you can't do the GM one. You deal with the coach and you have them work together, and then at the end of the season, the off season, then you do the personnel changes at that time. But at the moment, just a coaching change, and then you move on. And at the end of the year, you assess everything else. But for now, have the guy in place that's the best candidate that's out there, assessing your current roster right now.
Yeah, I see that. But the Vrabel thing could go two ways. It could go the Joe Philbin to Dan Campbell way, in which it fires up the players, or it could just go the way of the players are like, screw it, dude. This dude is on my ass. He might not be here next year. I might not be here next year. Screw this whole, we're doing this differently. We like Mike and blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know which way this thing is going to go. I don't know which way it would go. Again, I would favor keeping McDaniel because, you still got to deal with the GM. I just don't think a coaching change is going to snap this team up. And wake them up, I should say. They're built to win a certain way. They've been exposed. I'm not sure that there's another way. The way this roster is constructed, I'm not sure there's another way that this team can win. Because, again, they're not beating anybody with their run game. It's good for offensive balance, but you're not going to win games based on that run game. And I just don't see a whole lot here other than what they're trying to do, just because of the flawed way that this roster is constructed.
Couple things before I let you go. How does somebody break their orbital bone in practice when it's not a fight?
That I don't know. I guess you could get a hand, a hand in the face through the face mask or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know. It almost has to be a fight. But you can get a hand through the face mask. I'm still trying to figure out how Teron Armstead got poked in the eye and got a concussion.
Poked in the eye is one thing.
For a concussion?
An orbital bone fracture.
Right there. Yep.
That doesn't come from a finger, bro.
No, I'm not saying a finger. You can get a whole hand through a face mask. You can,
Yeah,
I don't know. No, I'm with you. I don't know, Big O. It sounds shady. It sounds shady.
Sounds slim shady to the max, my brother. That is.
I think was it Nate Garner who got into a fight a few years ago and he ended up with a concussion.
Yeah.
I think somebody swung a helmet at him during practice.
Were you there that day? I told the story of John Bach and Jason Taylor. And
No.
Jason Taylor swinging the helmet at John Bach, and John Bach screaming at him, "Pussy!" and all that.
Yeah.
It was nasty. But I'm just saying because you've seen it. We've been at practice.
Yep.
We've been at it a long time. Where we used to see like practice
right
back in the day, and we saw fights all the time.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, bro, come on.
Yep.
Come on. You know what I mean? So, okay. All right. Anyway. All right. What do you got going on the Sentinel?
Big O. Well, tomorrow is I'm going to talk about, look, they need their big guys to come through, the big players to come through. But really today was about, you found out your problems go beyond TUA. And that's the big realization. So and let me say this, Big O, I'm sorry that they lost this game from my boy Tim Bow. I wrote a Tim Bowens column on Friday. Loved Tim Bowens. You were there when Tim Bow was there. I went to his thing last night at the Hard Rock. It was great being there. Tim Bow is one of my absolute favorites, and I hate that this happened on his day. That the team comes out and plays so poorly like this on his day. But if you can read my column on Tim Bow from Friday, and again, this tomorrow's column is just going to be the problems go they're deeper than TUA, and you need your star players to come through in games like this, and you have a history of your star players not coming through in moments like this, in games like this.
Headline: Fire McDaniel, hire Vrabel. Right? Is that what it's going to say?
That's in the Big O Times. Sun Sentinel. It's going to be different. Sorry, Big O.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk. Perk, you're the best. Appreciate you, my brother.
Thanks,
Have
man.
a great evening, my man.
Always enjoy it.
You got it. There you go. Chris Perkins getting it done. EJD Construction. Call my guy Eric. He's been getting it done for like 20 years now, man. AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau, 305-433-4843, Dade or Broward County. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. Been with us for years. They use shell construction in-house. That's how they keep the cost down. They've been at this for a while. Do not work on condos, only homes. So call them 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with the Sun Sentinel's Chris Perkins. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Have one. I forgot to ask Perk. I said two questions, and I did not ask him the second because I'm an idiot. That's my fault there, and I apologize. Is Mike McDaniel really a front office hire? Don't know that yet. Don't know that for a fact. So just throwing that out there. And so, listen, man, right now, the way it's going, no one's going to survive this. No one's going to survive this. But I think you send a horrible message to your fan base, your season ticket holders, your suite ticket holders. You stay with Mike McDaniel. He is incredibly incompetent. And he constantly proves he has zero business coaching an NFL team. It's just irresponsible. And that's really my problem with all of this. Okay? And I'm the guy that tells you he's probably not even going to get fired this year. He'll come back, they'll try to fix it or whatever, and then next year the hot seat and they fire him sometime during the year or at the end of the year or whatever. But it hurts, man, that we got to go through this again. That we got to deal with this guy for the rest of the year when there really is no upside to this at this point in time. And that's the problem. There isn't an upside. It's frustrating. It really is. Let's see. Super chats came in. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App, Venmo, and even PayPal now. You can send in your message and your comments and all kinds of stuff there also on PayPal. We will read them here on the air. Cash App, Venmo, that's Cash Big O Show. And then on PayPal, you can use our QR code there. You search Orlando Alzagari, and you'll see the Crypto Bro Show logo. That's our PayPal right there. So when you put Orlando Alzagari, you see the Crypto Bro Show logo. Boom, you know that's ours right there. Ozzy Fisher says, if Jerry Glanville or Steve Spurrier had a child, his name would be Mike McDaniel. Thank you, Ozzy. Appreciate you, brother. Brett Payton, it looks like Tua was holding this team back. Now I realize that it was McDaniel holding back Tua, who's been carrying this team the whole time. Amen. Amen. That's right. I disagree with Perk there, bro. Totally disagree with Perk. Mike McDaniel did nothing but blow confidence up Tua's butt. That's it. Tua's been carrying his ass offensively the entire time. This guy's a terrible coach. Next up, it is Pedro Farias. Thank you, sir, for your continued support. Cristobal, former head coach, disciplinarian, no BS, knowledge, building a football team, learns from his mistakes, hold players accountable. Mike McDaniel, opposite and player-ran team. Ugh, I'm with you. That's why I would fire his ass right now and bring in Vrabel already. You've given him more than enough time, dude. Like, well, you know what Perk says, a few more games for what, man? For what? Do you know the embarrassment that awaits us next week? Next up, sir. Tony Marmorino, again, thank you, sir. Waddle kept up his streak with at least one drop. Yeah, Jalen Waddle has a concentration problem, and he's had it since he was a rookie, okay? He constantly will drop footballs. That's just the way it is. He cannot stay focused all the time. It's really amazing. Thank you, Toby. Let's see. Toxic Fart again. Oh, please don't jump into the falls. We need you to knock some sense into those who still don't see McFraud is incompetent. Well, I won't be bit my tongue again. I won't be jumping in, dude. But man, it hurts, dude. This hurts that we just keep going through this shit every year. And you people deserve better, man. Next up, Ray Rodriguez, thank you, sir. I know you talk about this many times. What intel did you get on the reason for Mike D extension, and what are they really the options to get out of it? Can we let him go after the last game this season instead of waiting next year? They can let him go anytime. The money's guaranteed, my friend. You drink Coke and the Dolphins are so bad they've driven me back to drinking Coke. Nah, I treat myself every once in a while. Anyway, and today was a good day. They're stuck with him. They got to pay him no matter what if they cut him or not, dude. So it's just a matter of cutting him and moving on if they want to do that. That's it. But they're stuck with him. And by the way, it doesn't go against the cap. It would be just a major hit that Ross would take, and it would look really bad because you're cutting a guy before his extension even starts. That's freaking embarrassing. Next up, it is True Fin Fan. Here it is. Will Vrabel be forced to keep anyone on this team? He won't be forced, but he may have to keep some strategically, True Fin Fan, because of cap reasons. You just won't be able to unload everybody because then the cap acceleration ruins your cap space with dead cap space, and then you can't fill it in with players. You understand? So he's going to be forced. Any coach that takes over is going to be forced to keep. But see, here's my thing, True Fin Fan. I don't think there's a lot of bad players on this team. I think if you had better direction, we would have better results. I'm sorry, but that's kind of the way I feel. Let's see. What else do we have? Vrabel would be an excellent hire, and I doubt they will make. Oh, it's not going to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. But I would love it. Tua, the least of our issues. Our defense stunk up the joint. We need to let Ross know that we have a better things to do on Sundays than drop $200 to watch a subpar team with no heart. Can't argue with any of that, man. PA Fins says the difference between today's game was quarterbacks. They have one who can make plays. We don't. He made plays today. He did make that key mistake, but the defense for Miami was terrible, dude. First, you fire Greer. Let the new GM assess the coach and the players, but Greer needs to go now. I just don't think they'll blow the personnel department out yet. You keep it through the draft because you keep all the information in-house. You bring other personnel people that are going to kind of take over if that's what you're going to do. And then they absorb all the information. Then after the draft, they release personnel people because they don't want to release the information that's kept within from all the scouts. And then you get the new personnel people to kind of decipher everything. And so Vrabel may have his own idea of that. So it may help out. That's kind of the way it goes, my brother. They don't let you go now. They do it after the draft. They keep everything in because they have all the receipts, as they say, so they know who is doing the job and who isn't. You know what I'm saying? I blame McIdiot for the ugly Dwayne Wade statue. I haven't even seen the statue for Dwayne Wade. If Dolphins keep playing like this, they will have the number 1 pick. Yeah, pretty much. Without even trying, all you have to do is have a shitty coach. Get a quality coach, break down in negotiations. The Dolphins are a joke, just like you are. That's it. Well, that's why I'm still a fan, sir. Tua wasn't the issue. Arizona was the better team. Yes, they were, and they have the better coach too. It sucks spending $100,000 or hundreds to watch this trash. Plenty of candidates for a new coach will arise during the offseason. Miami is a good destination when it comes to talent, location, income tax. Yeah. The only problem is that if you end up with other situations that have better cap issues, less cap issues, better players in certain areas, sometimes they'll go there instead. Right now, you'd be the lead dog, even though I know it's not realistic for them to fire and hire a guy like Vrabel at this point in time. I know it's not realistic, but I'm just saying it does put you ahead if you do it. And that's why I personally would do it, but that's just me. What can I tell you? Let's see. What else do we have here? Remember Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can use the QR codes there at the same time. Don't backpedal now. What happened to how great this team and front office is? Brother, the coach. I'm not really complaining about the front office. Top shelf cards. Are you listening, moron? Are you listening? If you had a good coach, you'd be 5-2 or 6-1 right now. That's what I keep saying. The talent is not really the problem here. I get all of you out there. You got to blame the talent. You got to blame the front office. They hired the coach, so they're going to take the fall for all of this. To me, the one problem is Mike McDaniel. You would be 5-2 or 6-1. So, you know what I mean? But in the end, top shelf cards, if it bothers you so much, are you a fan or not? I don't know. If it bothers you, I don't know. Why are you watching, my brother? Not exactly sure. If it bothers you what I say or whatever, why are you watching? Not exactly sure. I don't understand it. If you don't like what I say or what I do, why are you watching, dude? Am I holding a gun to your head? Just wondering. Don't understand people like you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no backing down or anything. You don't listen. You're too stupid. I can't help you, my brother. But I keep saying it's all Mike McDaniel. It's really not the talent. It's Mike McDaniel. And that's where the front office and the ownership screwed up. They hired the wrong coach. This talent should be 5-2 or 6-1. I don't think that sounds like I'm backing up out of anything whatsoever. You got a bad coach, you get bad results. And they hired the wrong coach. So, not sure where I said at any point anything's backing up. And again, if you don't like it, my brother, you can haul ass, dude. No problem. I've been here 34 years. I'm not worried about it. Big O, who's to blame for hiring Flo and McDaniel? Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. They will take the fall for that. Yes. And as I've told you before, if McDaniel fails, it's hard to see ownership giving the front office a chance to hire their third coach. I don't know how many times I've said that. Over and over and over and over again. And the hiring of Mike McDaniel will be the downfall of everyone in this organization. And last year, the other idiot there, I forgot his name now, wasn't paying attention. But I think last year I was off McDaniel's bandwagon, and I was the guy that said, hey, next year continues like this, it'll be the hot seat year. So, not sure. There's nothing to back down. In fact, everything I'm saying has kind of come to fruition. Unfortunately, because McDaniel didn't grow up. Is there a real future with Mike McDaniel as your head coach moving forward? No, 83%. That's pretty much stayed right there. So, there you go. Let's see. I bleed aqua and orange, and this is tough to watch year in and year out. Of course it is. The talent is the issue. No QB depth, no O-line. Well, who do you blame for that QB? This moron thought Skylar Thompson could play. And you kept him around, and you kept him around, and you kept him around. To me, that's like, that's what you're known for, and you didn't even know Skylar. That shows me that you did nothing for Tua. All you did was blow smoke up his ass. Give him confidence, and that's it. So, good God, I just saw the D. Wade statue. Don't like it. I don't think Wade doesn't. I think Wade doesn't either. So it's as bad as the Fitzpatrick statue that they do in the commercial. Is it bad, Sean? I haven't seen it. Give me the famous thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. Well, what's the? Oh, you haven't. He's going to look for it either. He hasn't seen it either. I see him leaning into the computer, so I know he hasn't seen it either. I have not seen the statue. I have no idea how bad it is, I guess. Big O, did you see issues with McDaniel last season? Yeah. Did you listen to the show? Did you listen to the post-game shows? I ripped McDaniel all last year for not sticking with the run, for not calling plays in on time, for not winning challenges, for his team constantly with penalties. Dude, I killed McDaniel last year. Some of you really never watch the show. You really don't watch or something. You just watch like a segment here or there or something, and then you think you know everything about the show or something. But yeah. Oh, God, it is bad. He looks like Orlando. There was an enforcer that played for Georgetown with Patrick Ewing. What's his name, bro? Bald guy, nasty sumbitch, like a badass, bro. You don't want to mess with the guy. I think his name was Orlando also. If I remember correctly, I forgot it. That's him. That's him. What is it? Georgetown roster. Hoyas. Okay, so I'm going to go 1984. I'm going to say Michael Graham. You son of a bitch. You did it, Toby. Michael Graham. That's it. Not Orlando. Michael Graham. That's it. That's it. That's him. That's him. Nice freaking job by you. If you did that off your memory, I love you for that. That is awesome. Michael Graham. Jesus. Let me see right here. Okay, you're watching the statue. Can I add something next to you? Does that happen? No, does it show up? Do I knock you out? Yeah, I did, huh? They made a statue of Michael Graham. That's older, too. Okay? That's older. They made a statue of Michael Graham from Georgetown. Thank you for remembering the name. I just remembered the face. How about that, dude? Michael Graham. Badass, bro. Badass. That's the dude you want. That's the dude you want next to your center. Let me tell you. That's the dude you want next to your center. Yeah. Tough son of a bitch. Ewing, he had Graham in college, and then he had Oakley and stuff. That's pretty cool for him, man, that he had that. That's badass. As I digress, I'm sorry. But that's funny. They made a Michael Graham statue outside the AAA. That is great. That's fantastic. Big O, that was a statement, not a question about you seeing my coaching issue. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, so you follow the show. You follow the show. Nice job by you, sir. That better get touched up. I don't know. Why? Somebody call Michael Graham. Tell him that we built a statue for him. It's awesome. You are 100% Big O. You said it and it happened. McDaniel is the problem. He's totally way over his head. He's completely lost and confused. The players are running the team, and it won't get any better. And it's only going to get worse. The players will eventually tune him out, and it's just going to be, the inmates running the asylum, basically. It's already kind of that as it is. And it's funny because Perk was answering his own question about, well, they might complain because they lose McDaniel and they get to do what they want. And it's like, I'm like saying to myself, Perk, that's exactly the problem. That's kind of what I'm talking about, Perk. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get to do whatever they want. Oh my God. It hurts, man. It just hurts. It hurts to be a Dolphins fan. Every single year, it hurts to be a Dolphins fan. That's the sad issue about all of this. And we go, it seems like it's, give Dave Hive the love. I thought Dave was, being a negative dude, and he was, it's Groundhog Year. That's kind of what he was calling this. I was like, no, man, I think there's something different going on here, but unfortunately, the wrong head coach has put you in a absolutely terrible position, and there's nothing else that we can do about it. And if they're not going to make a coaching change, what can I tell you? I don't understand, Big O, the issue with McDaniel. Mark my words, McDaniel will not get fired this year. I know. That's I'm pretty sure of that, but I would fire him. I'm on record now. Just want you guys to know, I think the best thing that the team does right now is fire him. I don't think you send the right message to your fan base by keeping that coach. He is incapable of becoming a good coach. That's the way I see it. True Fin fan, thank you for the super chat. I agree, better direction, better results. And again, it gives Vrabel the next 10 games to look at his team and see who he likes and who he doesn't. That's what I would do. True Fin fan says, I enjoy listening to you more than the games. Well, the experience of the loss is no fun, man. I feel you, brother. I feel you. So how many drafts does Greer get? He's had 6 or dude, at this pace, everybody's going down. You know, you don't survive. If McDaniel doesn't get it done, you're not going to survive. It's over. And that's the facts. So, all right, folks, we're out of here. We thank you all out there, as always, for supporting the hell out of the show. Those of you that sent in a donation, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, thank you. Visiting our amazing sponsors, please. It's very important, like Sloman's Home Shield, R&M Contractors, Acura Pembroke Pines, Toyota of Hollywood, Caneswear. By the way, Caneswear's got a sale going on right now, 30% off all Inner Miami gear, and you can get 10% off with our code BIG010, and you will also get free shipping if you order over $99. So there you go. Go take advantage at Caneswear. Get your favorite gear for your favorite local team there. They've got them all for you. We appreciate you. Thank you if you send in a super chat. However you support our show, please smash the hell out of the like button. It is very, very important that you smash the hell out of the like button. We will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Same time. Same place. Same bat channel.
You've been listening to our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The broadcast is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors, Toyota of Hollywood, Caneswear, Sloman's Home Security, BigCheeseMiami.com, EJD Construction. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Thank you for supporting the platform and our fantastic sponsors. Go Fins!